Oh, bonjour, my freaky darlings. It's Benji here, and today we're just going to talk about the main theme of my latest book, Nowhere to Go. So, I think this is the most personal theme that I've ever written about, ever. Um, it's basically the theme of what happens when your deepest desire ever, which is to be a parent, which so many people get to be, is the one thing you can't have. So yeah, I obviously I wrote this book, so I've got my notes over here that I'm just referring to, very professional. Um, so it's essentially the theme is the grief of involuntary childlessness, childlessness. Um, it's a silent struggle that goes on behind closed doors. You get a lot of people that ask, in families and friends, like, oh, like when people have kids, oh, when are you having kids? Um, which is very, very painful. Um, and they won't tell you because it's not anybody's business, but they never take offense to it because, yeah, sorry, this might be a bit of a hard hitting video. And if you're going through it, my gosh, it's the hardest thing I've ever had to go through. So I'm really, really sorry that you're going through it. Um, yeah, it is a physical and psychological pain. It's just all I can describe it as is just utter consuming pain. Yeah, this is with the character. So the character Matthew wants to be a dad more than anything else in the world, and he can't do it. He doesn't want to just. For everyone, a lot of people in the book say, "Oh, well, find a girl then, and then you can, have a relationship and raise a family." And he's just like, "No, I don't want to find a girl. First of all, because I just don't want to. He doesn't particularly want a relationship in that way, but he wants to be a father. Secondly, it's not fair on said woman that he finds to be just a catalyst in his goal, is it? So he's quite, respectful in that sense. Yet he's not able to have a child. Um, there's like a lot of cycles that he goes through. Um, there's the cycle of hope and despair when he feels that he's getting close to something, and then, as per usual, it's just goes through his fingers. Um, you do go through a loss of identity as well. You feel like you intrinsically are pretty useless. Um, you also feel like there's a loss, even though your child's never existed. There's a loss of you. All these ideas that you have of having children don't come real, so you do kind of feel like a metaphorical loss. Yeah, so this impacts obviously yourself and social life as well. Um, if you're with somebody, it's it. This is the thing. Matthew's on his own, but he has a lot of friends with him at the same time. So I guess he's not on his own. But like, if you're in a partnership, that can really put a strain on a partnership. For example, um, yeah, like I said, when a lot of people around you are having children and you're not able to, you question a lot. A lot of people saying, "Oh, relax, don't worry, it will happen," or some people just not thinking at all, going, "Oh, when are you gonna have kids then?" Sort of thing, as if assuming that everybody can, and they can't. Yeah, so yeah, there's a point where you do get to some sort of I call it reluctant acceptance, where you just realize nothing's going to happen. It's not going to happen. This one thing I want to happen more than anything in the world is not going to happen. And that's where Matthew gets to at some point in this book. And it's very, very difficult. So, like in terms of real life medical treatments, there are obviously medical treatments on the NHS. Um, that's not for all couples though, which is extremely unfair. Um, sorry, NHS. Obviously, I'm talking in the UK. Even and if you're not in the UK, that's even more difficult, and NHS only happens a certain amount of times before you have to start paying. Adoption or foster care. Now, first of all, if you want a child, you want to adopt. Adopt is obviously having the child as your own, and fostering is obviously just taking care of a child until, until they're ready to go back to the family that didn't want them in the first place. Pretty much. But that being said, you need to have sympathy with some families that are going through a difficult time and they might not be able to take care of a child. So if you are a foster carer and you know you're a foster carer and you're not doing it to, have children, may have your own children, that's fine. You can psychologically cope with that. If you're someone that desperately wants children, can't have them, fostering is really not the right thing. But in the UK, if you want a baby, you're not going to be able to adopt a baby. Period. You cannot adopt a baby. You have to go through what's called concurrency. Now, concurrency is fostering. Most of the time, it's a parent that's in a situation that's dangerous for the child, usually drug addiction. And what will happen when that baby is born is the baby will be parted by the social services from its biological parent. Then you will take care of said child. Within 6 months, I believe it's 6 months. I might be wrong with that. It's been a long time since I last looked into it, but within 6 months, you can apply to adopt the child. However, within those 6 months, not just the biological parent, but anyone related biologically to the child may also make a claim to adopt the child. So you're just basically a waiting area for your home's a waiting area for the child, which I think is exceedingly unfair on the person that really wants to adopt and who is doing the concurrency. I think it's actually quite disgusting, to be honest. Yeah, that's the only way you can get a baby in the UK. So yeah, this is why a lot of people go abroad. And even that costs loads and loads of money as well. So it's almost impossible to adopt a baby, as Matthew realizes. I really wanted to, could you tell? I really wanted to talk about it. And how horrible it is. There is no easy solution. And obviously, I do agree with the social services in that I don't think it's right to withhold a child's identity. So there used to be once upon a time you could elect whether to tell a child they're adopted or not. I still think that's the same situation in certain countries. Like you can adopt a child and not tell them ever that they've been adopted. I think that's actually quite damaging. Yet at the same time, the other side is damaging as well, because I've heard stories of there was a lady that adopted a son and a daughter, siblings. When they obviously they grew up knowing that they were adopted, and then when they reached 18, the daughter stayed with the mother, but the son just went off to the biological family as if, yeah, cheers for the last 18 years, I'm off now. So terrible. And you do obviously think, there's a lot of reasons why a parent might put their child up for adoption. At the same time, it's like, if the issue I have is them then seeking them out like 18 years later when they suddenly can be bothered. You know what I mean? Not that I'm saying that, they give them up because they can't be bothered. It's just, you get what I mean? It's not fair. It's like, taking care of my child, thank you. I'll snatch them back now. Yeah, it's tricky, guys. Honestly, it's tricky. This sounds very controversial, what I say, and the language I'm using, but this is emotion. This is my opinion, subjective opinion, and subjective emotion, okay? I do not harbour any ill feelings to anyone, but this is a lot of pain. A lot of years of pain. So, you might agree with me, you might not. I respect you either way, and I love you either way. But it just does go to show that for every bad thing, there's like a million good things, and so many good things has happened through adoption. And it's like a family that's, you know, the family is not defined by biology in any sense of the way. But yes, I'll wrap it up there, because yeah, otherwise it's just going to get a bit too, you know, depressing. I don't want it to get too depressing, but that is a hard-hitting reason why I wrote this book. Lots of pain, and it's nowhere near just me or Matthew that's going through it. It's a lot of people. So if you have had that pain, maybe this will help. Maybe. It's just good to read about someone who has the same emotions for you. I've had a very, very, very happy ending, because I have my daughter now. Thanks to a absolute archangel of a woman. So I'm not going to sit here though and say that it's going to happen for everyone, which is heartbreaking for me to say. But you do what you need to do. Just do what you need to do, and I really hope you get your happiness. I really, really, really honestly do, because everyone should be able to have a child. Love you guys. Feel free to have a read. I'll put all the links to in below. It's available in physical on Amazon, and digital on Kindle, Ibooks, and Kobo. Okay. I love you so much, guys. And you'll be okay. I love you.